Alright. First and foremost, I want to say, Call Halayim, How Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Harakakadash, Barakatan. The honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone, peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Alright. So, the brother here, Shema Shawan, with no video, Adonatazah, it will be edifying. And I want to start with a quick scripture here, Revelation 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them, woe to the inhabitants in the earth and the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time, man. So that devil, man, it's not an actual, like, spiritual demon, Satan, or spiritual, like, devil. That word there is diablos. Alright, when you click it, alright, it'll tell you about an accuser, man. This word devil is an actual man, not a actual spirit. This is a man, a calumniator. Alright, let's look at what that word calumniator means. Alright, to make maliciously or knowingly false statements about, man. It means to be a liar. Alright, and it's not this so-called white man, Esau, Edom, the biggest liar upon the face of the earth. Alright, that's a rhetorical question. We know the answer to it. Okay, having great wrath, because he know that he had but a short time. Alright, this devil, man, Esau, Edom, knows that his nation, that his rulership is almost out of here, man. So that's why he's moving very quickly, as we're going to see in this article right here. Alright, New York City will mandate the Windows 19 VACA for all government workers, eliminates option for weekly testing. Alright, so forget about your constitutional rights. Alright, they're moving all speed ahead, man. They're not stopping, man. Alright, because they know that they have a short time. They don't got much time left. So they're going to do whatever they can, all right, whatever little things they can, all the way leading up to that Marcus, and of course fulfill biblical prophecy, all right. But they're going to fail, all right, because we know the scriptures, man. You know, when they fill their belly, then they will be destroyed, all right. Then they will be finished. They're not going to expect it, man. It's just they're going to fight. They're going to do this shit. They thinking that they're gonna live and win forever, and they're gonna be destroyed, man. They're gonna have World War III. You know, Yahushai is gonna come back with those clouds, those chariots, destroy everything, all right. And rulership is gonna be given to the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American men and Israelite foreigners scattered across the entire planet Earth, all right. And you other nations, you're gonna become tributaries after 1,000 years. But this damn devil's gonna be destroyed, man. Alright? You other nations, you're gonna follow Allah's statutes and commandments. You will praise Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Alright? Whether you want to or not, we are going to force you. Alright, you will. Okay? Mayor Bill de Blasio announced on Wednesday that New York City will require all municipal workers, including the first responders such as firefighters and police officers, to get at least one juice by October 29th. At that date, they will no longer be able to opt out through weekly testing. All right, so we already know, I believe it was in Chicago, either someplace in Chicago, I believe Chicago or somewhere, but recently like 50% of the police officers is walking out, man. The police force is just walking out because they don't want to take the juice, man. They're like, man, fuck this shit, man. They're tired of being pushed around, man. You know, as an incentive, city employees will have $500 added to their paychecks for receiving their first shot at a city-run site, which we know, city-run VACA site. Those who remain on the VACA will be placed on unpaid leave until they show proof of inoculation to their superior. All right, so we know, as I said before, at that place, that's the thought I was gonna say. Those cops, 50% of that police force leaving, that's gonna have nothing but bad consequences, okay, in general, because you know that place, right? And this is gonna cause police officers in New York City to leave, and New York City is a very big city. So you know, once Jacob's trouble pops off, man, there's gonna be a lack of police officers. People ain't gonna have nobody to help, man, and we're seeing the beginnings of that now, man. We're warning you, all right. Cry loud and spare not, man. That's what we're doing in this truth, man. All right, we're the watchmen. All right, telling you people that, yo, you better get right before before it's too late, man. All right, but we see that this is just the beginning, man. All right, because once they do this and push this mandate by October 29th, they say that they're gonna do it, right? And he's probably gonna be unopposed by this, and I think they have councils. This is probably gonna be a city law or a state law. They'll probably have, well, if it's city only, they're gonna have New York City. So if it's a city law, they're probably gonna have a council meeting, and if all the councils and committees agree on it, and he's unopposed, which he probably will be, more than likely will be, even though we know some people aren't for it. All right, it's gonna be passed, and it's gonna be like a city mandate, like a city law, city legislation. It's very fucking. We're gonna get into it, man. There is no greater privilege than serving the people of New York City, and that privilege comes with responsibility to keep yourself and your community safe. De Blasio said in his statement, as we continue our recovery for all of the city workers have been a daily inspiration. Now is the time for them to show their city the path out of this shit once and for all, man. This shit. Okay. Well, this is this is just more of the devil's games, man. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7. No, I was gonna go get said. Yeah, Revelation, like not Daniel chapter 7. Not yet. Not yet. We're gonna go into Daniel, man. In a little bit. Here's the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Alright, so he had those two horns. The two horns had back then in Rome were the plebeians and the patricians, but now the Democrat and Republican. Alright, and this devil here, de Blasio, I'm certain he's a Democrat, but you never know, man. Let's see here. He's a fucking Democrat. I think he's a Democrat. I'm certain he's a Democrat, but you never could be too certain. Yeah, I remember the Democratic Party. So, because I don't want to say, oh, he's a Democrat, and then there's an off chance he's a Republican. I know he runs off of Democrat ways, but I want to double check. All right, even if I look stupid, I'd rather double check and make sure I'm correct than saying something on the off chance that, oh shit, I'm wrong. Okay, but he's a Democrat. He's a member of the Democratic Party. And this is what this government does. Okay, they push out these two parties and say, oh, look, this is what this guy is saying. This is what the other guy is saying. Then they make a law. They go into the Senate and the House of Representatives and shit. And they, argue and debate in the legislative party and the legislative branch. And they vote on laws. Okay. And they, get the people against each other, man, which is all a distraction. This shit is all a distraction, distracting the people from who's the people that really control this government, man. All right, big banking families, man. They're the real rulers of this country, man. They run everything, man. I believe it was Thomas Jefferson. That's something I'm not gonna double check, okay? But one of those fucking losers said, you give me control of a nation's money, and I'll control everything, man. I'll run that nation, man. Because money is the real rulers, man. The men that run the Fed, those big banking families that run the central banks, they're the real rulers of everything. They're the ones that call the shots. This guy here is on their payroll, all right? He had to join that Illuminated One organization. All right? He got his ring. He earned his way up, all right? So if he earned his way up, and we know that, then that means he doesn't run shit, right? Because he has superiors and men over him, and that witch coven that he's a part of that tell him what to do, all right? And those guys that order him around, they have leaders, right? And those guys above them, okay? But all right, and he spake as a dragon, man. So he's another beast that coming out of the earth, okay? Why does it say another beast, okay? And he exercised all the power, verse 12. And he exercised all the power of the beast, of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and none which dwell therein to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed. Okay, and that first beast that was before him is talking about that dragon, man, and that dragon is talking about the Roman Empire, which America is a continuation. All right, and America forces its citizens to worship that first beast. All right, because America is that beast that was, yeah, it is and it's not. All right, so America, it was Rome. America. These Edomites that run America, they were those Edomite Romans, and they're back again in the reincarnation. Okay, but they, so yet Yeah, there were the Edomite Romans. They still are because America follows Greco-Roman ideals and Greco-Roman ways and forces the people to worship that first beast. All right, so we're going to get into it in a little bit, but they're not Rome at the same time because America is not physically in Rome. All right, America is on the western part of the world, and Rome is in the east, man. Rome is all the way in the east in so-called Europe, which that used to be Japhetic land. All right, but um, yeah, America worships that first beast, man. It forces the citizens to worship the first beast, and how they do that. All right, you got Roman numerals. All right, you got when you're studying to become a doctor, or yeah, doctor, and you got the anatomy. Those are all Greco-Roman names. Oh, this is your bicep, tricep, your femur, quadriceps, oh, I don't know how you say hamstring in Roman, but you got fucking soleus on your calves, your soleus, your gastrocnemius. Okay, all that shit is Greco-Roman, man. It's all Greco-Roman names. Your latissimus dorsi, your pectoralis major and minor. All right. When you have let's see something else, man. Doctors, lawyers, you got all these laws, pro bono, all that shit. I don't even really know what pro bono is. Let's look at what pro bono means. I know it's something in law. There we go. Pro bono law. Pro bono publico, for the public good. It's a Latin phrase for professional work undertaken voluntarily and without payment. The term refers to provision of legal services by legal professionals for those who are unable to perform them. So this is like you get your state issued lawyers. A lot of times these guys are corrupt, you know, and they just get you fucked up, man. And there's really niggas that in that situation, they're done, man. You get that state issued lawyer, man. You know, which under American law, the city, or I don't believe the city, the state has to give you a lawyer if you can't afford one. I'm certain of that. So that's pretty much it for this article, man. So this devil here, man, he got about a short time, but he's gonna keep moving. All right, but as I said here, I believe I went into this chapter already, but I went into this already. This man is a devil, man. We don't got to go into Revelation chapter 20, but he laid hold. Revelation chapter 20, verse 2. That's our verse 1. And that's why the angel comes down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit. The bottomless pit is Europe, and the great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Why does it say that old serpent, man? Because this people, Esau, Edom, was that serpent-like people back in Genesis. All right, that beguiled Eve into following the philosophies of these other of the heathen philosophies, and following and forsaking forsaking the commandments of the Most High, and instead following the ways of these heathen nations. All right, or because they were back then as well, as you all know, man. The tree of knowledge of good and evil. All right. It's not an actual tree, man. Other nations were around back then, man. And Eve, being the woman, all right, being that wicked vessel, fell and started to serve them, which is the devil, as he brought out a calumniator, which means liar, and Satan. Satan means adverse, all right, and bound him 1,000 years. And this is the time period. It starts with Constantine, as we say, but it's really before Constantine. You have many rulers, but if you want to give it a hard date, man, it would have to be around Constantine, because Constantine the first time, because when he took over, he became the Holy Roman Empire, and if I'm correct, a few years later, after that, Western Rome fell and was conquered, and then they took all of it, Jake got into his rulership. All right, but this is talking about Esau, man, not spiritual demon Satan. All right, Esau is that serpent-like people, which is the devil, all right, liar, and Satan, man, the average to laws and commandments. Okay, and when you read a little bit again, Daniel chapter 20, verse 7, and when 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. All right, and this is starting with the fall of Constantinople, which is, I believe, is in 14 20, yeah, I'm gonna say 1300s to 1400s. I don't want to look for it. And shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is at the sand of the sea, which you can read about in Ezekiel chapter 38. And America is doing this. They're deceiving the nations, man. This is part of how they're doing it, man. With these mandates coming, claiming they're coming in some nice shit, but they ain't, man. And people know, and they're finding out, and the nations are mad, man. All right, even other Edomites, man, they're all fucking mad about this shit, man. All right, they're mad about America. You know, with Russia, it's not really about the vodka, man. It's also about those economic sanctions, about economic sanctions, and the fact that America is over them. All right, and the Most High is really the one controlling the strings of all of it, man, and bringing these nations together to fight. All right, and also because America took out, I don't believe it. I think it was America. I think America escorted a few Russian diplomats and started kicking them out the country and just cutting their ties with Russia, man. And Russia's pissed off about that shit, man. I believe EU did the same thing. They started to get rid of Russian diplomats. So the pieces are all there, man. All right. So, but when Esau came out, man, he started to deceive the nations again, man. All right, deceiving his own people. All right, deceiving everybody, man. All right, he sees the dark nations. He sees us first and foremost, man. This thing is really about getting Jake, because you got plenty of Jake firefighters, plenty Jake police officers. He's trying to get that squeeze on Jake, man. But yeah, we want to get a couple more things, because people know and people are finding out, man, and they're not happy, man. All right. And even with his own people, man. Well, not his own people. It's like with these Edomites, man. They're breaking their own laws, man. That's what we're gonna get into. Here with this report here. So this is Mike Lee. This is a Republican, and as I said, see here, RUT. Let's double check Mr. Mike Lee, because as I said, I don't want to misspeak about something that's so easy to. Yeah, Senator Mike Lee, American lawyer, a Republican. He has served in the Senate since 2011. Okay, so he's a senator. All right, and you got different things. You got senators, and you got representatives. I don't want to get too far into something that I got to brush up on again. Yeah, senators. You got representatives. You got governors. You got mayors. It's a lot of different things that you gotta take account of. But this guy is a senator, so you got the Senate and you got the House, so this shouldn't be controversial. Mike Lee rails against Biden vodka mandate on Senate floor. Okay, so these devils are standing against themselves, man. And as I said before, it's two horns speak like a lamb, and as a dragon, man. This guy, he does that, and we're gonna play a little bit of it.
Meantime, this leaves no one accountable. The corporations have the federal government to blame, and the federal government responds by saying, well, there is no policy yet. There's nothing to sue on yet. There's nothing for the federal courts to enjoin as unlawful, as unconstitutional. Is an improper exercise of federal power generally, keeping in mind that the federal government is one of few and defined.
Let's play that again, man. What do you say?
Required. But in the meantime, this leaves no one accountable. The corporations have the federal government to blame.
Corporations have the federal government to blame.
And the federal government responds by saying, well, there is no policy yet.
There's no policy yet.
There's nothing to sue on yet. There's nothing
to sue on yet. So there's no policy. There's nothing to sue on yet. And at the same time, anyone that's bringing out information, the channels are getting shut down, all right, which is going to lead to the famine of the word, all right, as we all know. Okay. So, but this guy here, man, he's against it. Okay. He's against the government ruling. He believes that's unconstitutional. And he believes that it's a unrighteous execution of government power, man. But at the same time, he prefaced his argument by saying that him and his children have already taken the thing. Okay, but if he was really against it, then his parents and his children wouldn't have taken it. He would have said, no, Okay, he would have came out here and told the people the truth. And you can see the comments, man. Why is no one talking about the injuries? Okay, this guy doesn't mention it. That should have been, it was really for it. He would have mentioned that first and foremost. All right, but this guy knows his limits, man. He knows he can't say too much, man. He might hear some shit. Nigga might be fucking hanged up in his closet, man. And I ain't talking about a hanger, man. I'm talking about they done they fuck nigga up and made it look like a suicide, man. All right, but hey man, this devil is a fucking liar, man. Democrat, Republican, it's the same thing, man. He's saying, "Oh, I'm against it, but oh, I took it. It's good. I'm telling people to take it anyway." All right, so what are you really for, man? All right. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 19. Yeah, then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which is diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron and his nails of brass, which devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue of his feet. And that military might, man, that extreme power that you can read about a little bit earlier, but I just want to get to the point here. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, man, his allies, all right, talking about Rome back then, which came back as America. All right, and the 10 horns are in his head. Now the other which came up before him, 3 fell. All right, so one, the 10 horns that were in his head, and the other which came up. Okay, that other which came up was talking about America, and before whom 3 fell. Okay, the French, the British, and the Spanish. All right, the Spanish-American War. Hold on in order. The Revolutionary War, French. No, it's Revolutionary War. I think it's the French American War, and you got the Spanish American War. If I'm saying that right, I believe I did, or it's the French and Indian War. I can't. It was either the French American War. I think it's the French American War. Slock it, because America took France out, they took Spain out, and they took Britain out. Okay, and kicked them out. Even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows, man. And that great things, man, is following the ways of Rome, all right. And that main thing that they're speaking, that great thing that they're gonna push very soon, all right, Lord willing, very soon, and we can see it, man. Is that chippy chip, man? Is that Mickey Mark, man? That's that great thing that they want to push out. And read about that Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. But I didn't want to. If I was going into all that, this would be 2 hours long. All right, whose look was more stout than his fellows. Let's look at that word stout. All right, let's look at that word stout. Rab, great of power. Okay, a look that's more powerful, a very prideful look. Chief leader, speak great things. Chief leader, captain. Okay, that's what these devils are, man. That's these devils are on, man. They're on that stout shit, man. They're all stout and all prideful, man. And they're prideful while they break their own laws, which this guy is just a puppet, man. All right, these Edomites, these top level Edomites at the highest level, man. They break their own laws, all right, and they do it pridefully. Okay, so this is Constitution Daily. Current constitutional issues related to mandates. In general, 2 key Supreme support decisions speak to the authority of state and local officials to issue VACA mandates. Generally, these decisions concluded that these governments may tell people to get VACA unless they belong to an exempt group or face a penalty. In 1905, the Supreme Court ruled in Jacobson versus Massachusetts that under a state law, local health authorities could compel adults to receive the smallpox VACA. Henry Jacobson refused a free smallpox vaccination that was mandated by the city of Cambridge. He was fined $5 as a result. Jacobson argued the VACA violated his 14th Amendment due process rights. Okay, so his 14th Amendment rights, his 14th Amendment right, as we read, courts interpret that to go into your right to refuse medical attention. All right, because the 4th, let's look up here. not the 14th, but the Fourth Amendment it goes hands in hand with the 14th. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures should not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, or particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Okay, so this is talking about, like, cops can't search your ass unless they have a probable cause, but you have it today where these cops lie and say, oh yeah, we heard that there was a murder in the area. What murder? Just to try to search you and try to implant something on you and say that, oh yeah, you did it. Okay, so that's why you shouldn't really allow cops to be searching your shit, because they could plant things, they could plant drugs, they could plant guns, and say, oh yeah, that's what you did. And they play like that, man. They play like that. Um, but see, many other in privacy law, like something like that is put under privacy law. A um a vodka. Okay, so according to the Constitution, you can't do it. But then they say, oh yeah, to that constitutional thing, Jacobson versus Massachusetts, that they can compel you anyway. That the state does have the power to do it. So you see how they contradict themselves. I hope it makes sense, because they contradict themselves. They say, oh, one thing here in the amendments, all right, and the 14th Amendment is just due process. Okay, so they say that, okay, but then at the same time they break their own laws. Okay, and they say, oh yeah, well, as we read here, a mandate versus law. What is the difference? From KULR8.com. She looks like NBC. I guess it is an NBC logo. I'm gonna go down to the point. Yeah, anybody. Yeah, I'll read from the top. Great Falls in July, Governor Steve Bullock issued a mask mandate in counties with 4 or more active cases. Since then, a lot of viewers have asked what's the difference between a mandate and a law. Many people say they're refusing to wear a mask because it's not a law, so we looked into it. Okay, which is true. If it's not a law, then it's not a law. And that means that there's no penal code to it, all right? To my knowledge, there is no penal code for not wearing a mask, man. Let's look it up. Actually, let's do the fun. All right, penal code. All right, for no mask. Okay, you look it up, and well, this is lottery. Okay, so there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. So you see, there's nothing. There's nothing that says that if it was there, it'd be the first thing. That there's nothing. There's no reason you should be locked up for something like that. A law and a mandate have the same power to be enforced. The only difference is how it came to be. A law is passed by the Senate and the House of Representatives and signed by the governor. And a mandate is made by the governor with the power given to them by the legislature in a state of emergency. Okay, which the government is I believe put themselves in that state of emergency because of the situation. Overall, a mandate has the same effect as a law. Health officers in the state said everyone must comply with the governor's mandate, which makes the mandate enforceable by health officers and police. Okay, so yeah, the governor's mandate has been made law because it's a quote unquote state of emergency, and they got that power from the legislature. But at the same time, they're breaking the people's constitutional rights. People have the right to refuse unwanted medical attention. Anybody's not in compliance with that directive is in violation of the law, essentially because they're in violation of a direct order. And I looked that up, right? Penal code violation of a direct order, and there's nothing. Let's see, New York City. See, this is disorderly conduct. One of them is criminal contempt, but this is something like in law, like in the court. Like if you're in the court and they say, and they say make a ruling that we need your computer or some shit, you got to give your computer up, or you may get put in jail for that shit. All right. If you violate a mandate of the court or violate the order of protection or restraining order, you will face up to a year in jail. Okay, so when you disobey a mandate of the court. All right, but that's in a court situation. This is no fucking court mandate. This is just a legislative mandate. But you see how they play with it? All right, they're playing with this shit. It's not the same thing. There is no penal code for violation of direct order, but they're gonna arrest you anyway. All right, they're gonna arrest you anyway. You're not breaking a law, but they're gonna arrest you anyway. Okay, you see how they play with it? So that's what makes the mandate a law. That makes it enforceable by us, law enforcement, and there are quite a few things that can be enforced on top of the violation of a direct order from a few different things that can be enforced on top of the violation of a direct order from a health officer, said Megan Spry, registered sanitarian for the Central Montana Health District. Okay, so other charges they're gonna go into later on, but that's pretty much the point, man. A mandate is not a law. Okay, but they claim it's a time of emergency, even though we know this thing is a bunch of bullshit. All right, we know this thing is a bunch of bullshit, but this is how they do it, man. This is how they play the people. All right, this is the book of Sirach, the 12 verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like his iron rusteth, so is wickedness, man. All right, you can never trust your enemy, man. He's an absolute liar. All right, he's a fucking devil, man. You know, but yeah, I want to play this last video here. Is a mandate, a law? How will Biden's mandate be enforced? They want to use the Occupational Health and Safety Administration, and they're gonna over and use that, all right, to get past the Constitution, to get past and break their own laws, man.
The president dramatically expanded the reach of vaccination requirements, requiring through a rule OSHA is developing that all businesses with 100 or more employees ensure every worker is either fully vaccinated or gets tested at least one time a week.
See that right there? Fines up to 14,000, man. Did I not bring out a few days ago Isaiah 10:1, man, at my camp? All right, won't them that righteous decrees, man. This is completely unrighteous. Will not particularly specifically find or focus on individuals who are unvaccinated, all right, because they know that that's a very touchy way. You cannot punish people for something like that because you got constitutional rights. But you see what I'm saying, man? They're moving and going past it, man.
Hey, thanks. Check out these other videos from USA Today to stay up to date with all the latest.
Hopefully the video didn't come out too bad in there, but I mean, sometimes it sounds a little funky when I record. So the book of Revelation, chapter 7, verse 19. Then I will know the truth of the fourth beast, which is diverse from all the others. All right, and that's how this beast is diverse from all the others, man. No other beast has ever tried something like this, man. This is medical tyranny, man. I mean, other nations, the dark nations, the Persians, the Babylonians, the Assyrians, never like this, man. All right, but hey, man, it's nothing but a liar and a deceiver, but his lot, man. You can read about that in relation to the 14 verse 8 to 10, man. Esau Edom is gonna get burnt up, man. All right, especially America, man. These Edomites here in America, Babylon, all right, is gonna have a very horrid judgment. All right, it's gonna be burnt in the presence of the Lamb, all right, and the angels, man, and be absolutely destroyed. All right, Wadi Habashim Yahushai. All right, so that's all I got. I say Kohalalim Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Harakakadash Wabarakatum. All right, that's all I got. I'll keep pushing my brothers, and I'll make another video soon. All right, Shalom.